New Year to you. Happy New Year to the entire Shield Nation family. I tell you what an exciting 2023 it has been. You guys had a chance to get on the leadership call. I did, I think maybe about a week and a half ago. Cliff and myself just sharing the highlights of, Darcy and I and Cliff and Tracy being out in Utah, Park City with the executive team. The amazing announcements that just came out reflecting on 2023. Darcy's going to share a couple of things here in a minute just about our business and kind of how we wrapped up the year. But more importantly, just, 2024 and the things that we're doing there and the opportunities we have. And don't let the momentum slow down at all. The incentives, the bonuses, and just the generalities around this great company are awfully powerful, every single one of us. So, hey, listen, again, Happy New Year. It's so good to see you guys. I hope you had a blessed holiday, and we couldn't be more blessed to just be able to have you guys as a team, and knowing that we get a chance to create more ring earners and more Millionaire Club members in the years to come. To me, is just exciting, very exciting. I do want to just do a couple of quick shout outs. If you haven't heard, please give a shout out to Miss Cheryl Garcia, Shield Nation's newest $200,000 ring earner. So I know, Cheryl, you're probably on somewhere out there. I can't see everything. But congratulations to just an amazing gal, always fully committed, integrity and character second to none. And why are you playing with that? Are you looking for? Okay. Also, Fred DaCosta, $150,000 ring earner. Just another tremendous leader. And here's a guy that hit the ring, the 150 ring, part-time, full-time in Legal Shield. He's got another career that he's a part of and that he's very, very successful in. But I mean, it just goes to show you what you can do when you're, consistently persistently consistent in this great company with this great opportunity. So Jane, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it over to Darcy. I'd encourage you, get your notepads out, get your pencil and pens on turbo. And this is an opportunity to set the stage for, there she is, Jane's ready. She's got the habits workbook to set the stage for 2024. And, when we talk about goals, when we talk about measuring, if you don't measure, you can't expect, results. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have an idea of where you're going and what it is you want to do. And Darcy's going to help every one of you kind of get that set up tonight. So appreciate you. And Ms. Hoffman, it's all you.
Get out of here.
All right.
All right, everyone. Let me get my spreadsheet up. Oh, yeah. Okay. So just to the reason I'm doing this is because you can't manage what you don't measure, is what he was trying to say earlier. And I have had a new burst of what's going on with Legal Shield, and with working super close with Warren and putting reports together and helping him to see how great this company is and was, and all the things that we used to do, and we were blowing and going. And so we've got a revival going on, I believe, in Legal Shield. And we had our very best month in the history of our 25 years. And I just got to say, this, there's a lot of things out there that people do for a living, but they always have to keep doing it and doing it. Real estate's great. You do this, you kind of have different things you want to go out there and make money at. But this business and the longevity of this business, and to be in this business for 25 years, yet last year was our 25th year anniversary. Well, actually this year, this is when we hit our 25th year anniversary, and had the best month in the history of 25 years. Now, that is amazing, to think that that can happen for everyone on the phone. And I'm going to go into some of the things I have been doing, tiny little things that matter, and over the long haul, build a great sustainable business, which is what you all want to do. If you're going to do something, let's do it right. And so another thing is, and I'm sending this to Warren because I want Warren to understand what is in Shield Nation. And so I went through all of the I went through 5 organizations, the Dave Savula's Shield Nation, the Brian Carruthers and Amelia's and who am I missing?
Team Pinnacle, Team New
No.
Vision.
New Vision, yeah, that one. So we are the number one producer of ring earners in the history of Legal Shield is the Dave Savula. Number two producer of ring earners and in the history of Legal Shield is, guess who? Shield Nation. Are you surprised? The number three is Team New Vision. Number four is Brian Carruthers. Number five is Amelia's in the five that I went and analyzed in a spreadsheet. So I'm sending out, and the reason I'm telling you this is that I'm not talking about number of people at an event. I'm not talking about I'm talking about the people that make it to 50, 100, 150, 200, 300, 400,000 and above in rings. I'm talking about the total number of leadership that is produced in a team. And Shield Nation is the second. We are far ahead of Brian and Darnell and the Amelia's. And it is, it doesn't look, sometimes you think, oh, we're smaller. But I want you to understand, we have strong leadership. You are doing the right things all the time. And there's a lot of ideas out there that take you off to the left, to the right, and all kinds of crazy things happening. And I believe that one thing that has been true about Shield Nation is we've taught you principles that stick and stay. They're not necessarily fun and new and like the latest trendy thing. They're principles that will build a sustainable business and a solid foundation. So that's where your money is coming to you, is going to be in the right habits so that you can build something that sticks and stays and pays you forever and ever and ever and ever, which is why our income is growing. Okay, so we are going for the $1 million ring, going to hit, I think we already hit 900,000. So just saying, those are the kind of things that come from why I'm doing this webinar. All right. Also, this is a webinar for you to invite guests, because if I was recruiting somebody, I would want them to see the principles of the reality of this business. So if they have in their mind, this is some kind of strange business or whatever, they're going to get on this webinar next week. You can still invite them next week and hear, wow, this is for real. This is a person 25 years in the business with this company, with this product, and they're having the best month they've ever had in 25 years. So it's growing. The opportunity is there. The CEO that we have now and the future of this company is so incredible. So anyways, a lot of times when I was recruiting, I would bring people to a training. If the training was about life, the training is going to be about life. So if they're in sales or they're in something and they want to come on board to find out why we're the number two team in the history of the company in building successful producers, then they are welcome to come and take a look. They don't have to be signed up with you. They can come and take a look. So remember that for next week. Let me go to the PowerPoint now. So, well, I don't know how to do, let's see if I know. Oh, that's not. Does anybody know how to do where I can see the next slide? So it doesn't matter.
Darcy, are you trying to share your screen?
Oh, I'm supposed to share my screen. Yep, I'm supposed to do that first. Let's see. Okay, let me go back to the, yes, I am, Teresa. Somebody's always got to, all right, here we go. I am going to share my, there it is. Okay. Share. Okay, so.
Now put it in slideshow mode.
How do I do that?
Click on the first, you've got the first, okay, click up at the top where it says slideshow.
Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Teamworks and DreamWorks.
When you click on it, it should, okay, go to from beginning, all the way over to the far left.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Thank you. All right. So I have a 7-week course and we'll see how much we're going to do on this call on Monday night. But to get started, I want to show you a little survey that was taken just last year, which habit builder is your greatest struggle? And you can see here, mindsets, thinking, and beliefs, which is next week. So everything I talk about, we're gonna go into that. But literally, that's everything I think about. I think about what I'm thinking about. I think about, as far as a habit, I am very careful, and I want you to think about, before we even start, and I even go to the first slide of the training. Let's go back 1 year from today. Let's go back to the first day of 2023. You were just coming out of 2022. You came into January 1st of 2023, and you said to yourself, I want this year to be different. So write on your piece of paper, in 2023, what did I want to accomplish? Then I want to ask, the next question is, did you accomplish it? And then we're going to have to look at that division between what you thought you were going to accomplish in 2023 and what you actually did accomplish. And hopefully this is going to help you look in the mirror and get better for 2024. So the first thing is look back. What did I want? Why didn't I get there? Ask those type questions, and you'll see in this training today a few things that will help you to do that. But it's never looking back to criticize yourself. So I'm listening to something today, and it was about Einstein. Einstein goes into one of his classrooms. He's teaching his class, and he says, okay, everyone, 1 times 9 is 9. And then he says, 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. And he goes all the way through, and 9 times 9 is 81. And 10 times 9 is 91. And then his class all starts laughing at him. They're cracking up. They're going, oh my gosh, I can't believe Einstein. He said 91, 10 times 9 is 90. And he said 91. So he made a mistake, and he's quiet, and he's waiting for everybody to stop laughing. And then he starts to speak, and he goes, I had 9 correct answers, and no one celebrated me in the 9 correct answers. But the one answer I didn't get correct, that I failed at, you all started to laugh. And he goes, why is that? And I want to ask you, for the 9 things you did right in 2023, are you celebrating yourself? So in this 2023 look back, what you thought you were going to accomplish, what did you accomplish? And maybe there's a gap between some things, and we're going to correct that. But I also want you to celebrate the things you did. So he said the only failure is the ones that do nothing. So whatever you did do, and you did something, I applaud you. And you're going to find out in today's training, that's exactly what the habits training is all about, really. All right. So it's a key about mindset. And that's the first mindset. Everything you do right, keep focusing on it. Keep focusing on what you do right. Things that aren't working out, let's ask a lot of questions to grow in that area, but don't laugh at yourself. Don't put yourself down. That's a mindset. So 40% of the people struggle with that. To date, I've been taught and therefore focus mostly on goals. 70% of the people goals. Habits? No, that's not so much. Everybody's like goal training, everything's about goal training. Well, we're going to talk about that as well. If you were asked are your goals crystal clear, 50% said no. 50% of the leadership says no, there's no clarity. So we're going to figure out what to do about that. What part of getting results do you need to work on most? And again, my mind, my programming, my beliefs. And that is literally raising my 3 girls, raising this team. Same thing, same focus is whatsoever a man believes in his heart, so is he. So what you believe in your programming, your mind, your belief systems is going to be the fruit that you live out in your life. And no matter how gifted you are, you're going to sabotage this if your beliefs are not in line with who your true potential is. All right. And I can't really see this. Like, there's a way to, let's see. There's a big thing on the top of my, that says share and all that box. Is there a way of getting rid of that?
Yes,
How do
Darcy, go over where there should be 3 dots that say more. If you click on that, when it drops down, hide floating controls.
Thank you. And then you'll have to tell me how to get them back when I need them, but, all right. All right, so interested in facilitating. Oh, this is just whatever you're given, whatever what we're gonna talk about tonight, to take it to your local team, to take it, do a home group, maybe even something in your church. All right, because people, I cannot tell you how many people, the basics of life and success, they do not understand. And I know you hear all these today, you know, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Instagram, and you see the 10 things you should do, 5 things you should do, and the this and the that, and it's overwhelming actually. But there's really, you know, seven moves you got to master to get a black belt. There's not a lot of things you have to figure out to do right. It's just the principle centered things that you have to figure out, and all the blurry stuff and all the crazy and over the top and too much information everywhere in every direction. Silence that and just get to the basics, the basic things. And I'm going to have a slide about that. So going forward. All right, now that, oh, there it goes. All right, so today we're going to talk about plan and control. The purpose is to learn to plan, then know what you control, apply what you know to control, apply those things, how to think right, how to overcome when things don't go right, and how to sustain your activities so you have a sustainable business. And all of this is, we learn to create a new normal. What that means is that you're planning, controlling, applying, thinking, and overcoming to sustain a business without thinking about it. It's your new normal. It's how you do life. It's how you do your business. It's how you process information on a daily, minute by minute basis, is through this process of, so that it is who you are, not who you're trying to be, you're going to be. And so that will produce a different outcome for your life. So you'll see the slide, but we're going to work on the first 2, plan and control. So as I share this with you, I want you to grow, and then I want you to share this, and I want to celebrate not only what you do differently, I want you to celebrate with the people you share what they do differently, so that we can make this an ongoing, awesome thing. You know, that's just, I just could go on. The feeling you get when you share something that changes a life, there's no greater thing ever in a life. So, but it's only worthy when you've applied it, it's created an outcome for you, and then you're worthy of sharing it. You can share this next week, you know, invite people to the Zoom call, that kind of a thing. But when you actually apply it, and then you say, I used to be at this level, then I applied some things I learned, and now I'm here, then people want to listen to you. And that's what I really want to see: grow and then share. But in the meantime, share as they're walking side by side with you. But nothing's better than a testimonial. So your mess will become a message, and your test will become a testimony. And that's what we want. All right, success principle number 1, which is you need to plan your work and work your plan, which is kind of what they call goal setting. So plan your work, set your goal. And science says only 8% of people actually achieve their goal. So what is going on? So if you're supposed to set your goals, and everybody's saying to set your goals, but only 8% of the people actually achieve their goals, I'd say there's a problem. We got to figure out what that is. So goals are the results you want to achieve. So when you're looking at a coach, and you go over from the coach here to what does he want? His goal is a state champ, right? That's what the coach wants. He wants to win the state championship. Okay, great. But the things between what his goal, where he is, and where he wants to be, his goal, that's the habit part. Okay, that's what really counts. The writer wants to publish a book. Woohoo, yay, that's a great idea. That's a great goal. But what's your system of habits? This here, right here, is the key. The salesperson wants to double their income. The overweight person wants to lose 50 pounds. You know, those are goals, but they don't change anything if you don't have habits. All right. In our business, a team builder, they want more fast start qualified. They want more recruits, more premiums per associate. How about that one? More senior directors and above. So you want advancement, you want growth, more PCQ, sales producers, they want more group accounts, but you know, recruiters want all of these things. So you could be a team builder, you could be a recruiter, you could be a sales producer, you could be all 3 of those things in our business, which is really amazing because you can do what your gifting is. And if your gifting is sales producer, that's fine. Then recruit somebody whose gifting is recruiter. So I always say I can remember when I was naturally a team builder. Okay. I loved team building, coaching, developing people, but I knew that the biggest scope of success in my business was to be, have leadership in all areas. So the one weakness that this is about 12 years ago, 15 years ago, that we had in our business was the group leadership, group expertise. And I thought, well, if I can't do that, then how do I help? How do I recruit something I'm not doing? And so I knew that I needed to develop group people and group producers so that that little segment of the business was it's kind of like if you want to open a Walmart, you know, you don't want to just sell toothpaste. You want to sell food and clothing and tires and just all kinds of stuff. So your store, you know, your business has more cash flow centers going on. And so that is what my mind was always thinking. I'm a franchise developer. I owned a business, my first business, and it was all about you have this stream of income and this stream of income and this stream of income. And so in this business, I see, oh, you can build teams, that's a stream of income. You can get bonuses, that's a stream of income. You can do small business, that's a stream of income. You can sell individual sales, that's a stream of income. You can have other people that call on companies that do individual sales to employees, that's a stream of income. All of these low streams of income, then you can say to yourself, is it a goal that I have someone who's an expert in all of those streams of income? And if you think like us, we are very, you know, I'm a business minded person. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So that one of my systems of habits would be, how do I develop team builders, recruiters, and sales producers all inside of this company model so that I can be a Walmart that sells all the different products with all the different cash flow opportunities. So that could be different for you, but that was what we did. And it's phenomenal. So you've got to decide. Clarity, clarity, clarity. Important. You are not John and Darcy Hoffman. You may like our lifestyle, you may like our income, but it doesn't mean you want to do what we did. It may not fit who you are. And it's so part of the clarity problem is that you see everybody else and you're confused about who you are. And you're okay to be you. It's okay. Like Brielle is having her fourth kid in June, by the way, everyone, having her fourth kid. So she has created a lifestyle to be the greatest mom ever, but also most incredible in what she does, but a very niche. She's created a niche and she doesn't go off and she wants to, but she has to, in her world, really hone in on what she's best at. So that's your clarity part. Again, your reality is what you have. This is 2023. All right. This is your habits. This is your dream. So you go through this charts in the book. Of course, you can think about all of these different things. And we're going to talk about business and I'm going to go into other things about finances and stuff like that as we go through this, but it's your reality and your dream, and the difference between what you have and what you want is what you do and become. So habits are not just a doing thing, they're also a becoming thing. All right. So how do you start? The first thing is again, goals. Everybody says, let's do goals, but let's go through the SMART program. You've heard about it, the SMART. S is specific goals, M is measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, T is time-based. So now that's great, but let's put that to practice. Okay, specific. Okay, let me give you a goal. I want to be rich. Oh, I wish I want to be rich. Or I want to be a platinum. Okay, that is not specific. Well, platinum kind of is specific, but let's go and make sure we understand SMART. So S, specific. I want to increase my income. Okay, that's specifically, I'm at, 50,000. I want to increase it, but that's not really, okay. So that's specific, but let's get measurable. M, I want to increase my income by 10,000. Now it's measurable. So I'm at 50 and I want to go to 60. I know I want to increase my income. That's specific. And by 10,000, that's measurable. Whether or not I achieve that by the end of 2024. Attainable. All right. I want to increase my income by 10,000. So I will make one extra presentation a day to add $1,000 of income per month. So this particular case, I could give you an example of how you take a chart, you figure out how much you make per whatever position you're at, how much are you making per presentation or per consumer sale, and then you how much do you want to add into your income? Okay, so you can either add that by personal sales, or you can go over to the other side, team building, if that's your thing. Then you figure out, okay, if I'm going to do that, how many more recruits and what kind of business would they have to do, and how much production would be on that in that team to add $1,000 to my month. Or I like the sales producer, I'm going to do calling on small business and groups and doing it in the business side of things. And how much would I have to do? And you can literally work that out to exactly what you have to do on a daily basis. And it's important because now it's attainable, because you go, oh my gosh, am I committed to one presentation a day extra to add that extra 1,000? Because 1,000 a month times 12 is 12,000. That hits my goal of 10,000. So then now you say, I want to increase my income by 10,000 and I'll do this to do it, which is attainable. Third, is it relevant? In other words, just because somebody gets on stage and, oh, they did this, oh, they did that, and then you're like all revved up inside and you think you need to do what they did. No, I'm telling you, you don't. And it's not going to work, because if it isn't relevant to you, all right, I want to increase my income by 10 by making one extra presentation a day that will pay for our family vacation. And if that is my thing, a family vacation that $10,000 can go to, that is the biggest, most happiest moment of my life, to have that kind of a vacation once a year, then I have my why. So if it isn't relevant because so-and-so did it, and you feel like, oh, you're competitive, or you got to be, I got to be this level of someone, everybody else is that level, that's not relevant. Okay, so what is relevant to you, and how can you make it relevant? And then the last one, of course, is time bound over the next 10 months. So this gives you a breakdown that's more like, oh, that's what a goal looks like. All right, it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. All right, now goals help you plan. Now it helps me plan. The coach wants to win the state championship. You want to go to the next ring level, let's say. Goals help you plan. Okay, so that's where you want to go. Great. But that's A. You have now given yourself a vision. You've done the SMART program, but habits are the key. What is going to help you make the progress to obtain the goal? All right. So don't focus on results. This is a big thing. I just met somebody, she gets on the scale every day. I go, you cannot get on the scale. You cannot get on the scale. That's a result. If you get on the scale, you look at it, and let's say you thought you lost a pound, but you gained 2 pounds. You're going to be like, you're messed up in the head now. It's just such a bummer. You thought you were working hard. You were doing all these things. So you focused on a result rather than, I am not going to eat past 7 o'clock at night. These are the things I'm going to focus on. These are the habits I'm going to do. I'm going to eat lean. I'm going to eat vegetables. I'm going to do no candy, whatever those habits are. And I did it today. I did it today. I did it today. Yay. Don't get on the scale. I did the habits that are going to produce the result. And so you just celebrate the habits. Don't look at the result. Don't look at the result. I cannot tell you, that is a big problem for people. And I know once a month, you're going to see like your income level, towards your next ring and all that kind of stuff. So that's, from a business standpoint, you're going to see numbers, but I'm saying what's going to move the needle for your life is your habits, not your results, not always looking at that where you're at in the ring. So if you I know, John and I literally have never looked at our income. It's just, people like look at their bonuses and look at this and look at that. I'm like, if I do the right things, and there's a scripture, seek ye first the right principles, the kingdom of God, and all the right principles, and all these things will be added unto you. All these things will be added unto you. And so I don't seek the things that will be added. I seek the right way of doing things according to my faith. So I focus on only that, and I trust that adds all things are added onto me because I focus on that. And so we've never really focused. I say to you, we're going to do the 900,000 and then the million. I don't know. Why am I doing that? Because I feel like people are going to, I just want to say right now, 25 years into this business, you can go from wherever you're at to something greater. And it's something I want to show you. I want to prove to you, it doesn't matter what level you're at, you can move from that level to the next level with the right mentality and the right habits. So you control the number of times you do the things. That's the key. Practice isn't the thing you do when you're good. It's the thing you do that makes you good. So just look at that screen right there. And guess what? Who's in control of the number of times I run, the number of minutes I go for a walk, the kind of food I put in my mouth, the number of calls I make, all of the things and your goals, the number of money, the percentage of the money I save, what I invest, what I spend, what I say no to that purse when I don't really need it, when I have 4 other purses, but oh my gosh, I need to have that purse. Now I spent too much on my credit card. All of those things are the habits. All right. And you control that. You control the number of times you do the thing. Buy the product that you don't need, the dress or the purse or the car or the whatever that you don't need right now, because you need to focus on building a business. And maybe you have a habit of $1,000 comes in, 10% goes into savings, and that 10% goes into something that in case the dryer breaks down, that kind of a thing, an emergency fund, and then 10% for tithing. And then you live on 70%, for instance. That would be a habit. No matter what, no matter what, no matter what, you don't touch the savings, because that's something you're growing out there. And you learn, okay, a habit, a way of life, a new normal to live on 70%. It just is. It's just the way it is. You don't touch the 30. You just, dollar comes in, you split it. 30% over here in these 3 buckets. And by the way, that's Paul J. Meyer, your upline leader. His thing was a 70, 10, 10, 10. So 70% you live on, 10% tithing, 10% for an emergency fund, and 10% investing. And everyone he ever saw that did that habit financially changed their life and got out of debt, and it just changed. But your first thing is the 70-30 philosophy or habit. Okay, so let's go to the breakdown. Now that we know that we need to change some things, I wanted to go into skill, system, mindset of a couple different things that break it down so that you can say, this is the area I'm really not, I got to change this area. All right. So if I am approaching somebody, sharing, the product, the business, the opportunity, the vision, the possibilities, and I'm sharing, I'm networking with everyone, something in that habit is going to create an interest with someone. Something in that, the many times that I do that in a day, is also going to create appointments. That doesn't mean I have a team. That does not mean I have a sale. All right. So this is the breakdown I want you to get, because if you are not getting interest or appointments, your only area of focus is your approach, how you share, and how you network. Those are the 3 things you want to learn how to do better in 2024. Because if you need more interest, if that's the problem, the words that are coming out of your mouth and no one is interested, then you got to change your delivery. All right. Literally every time I do an approach, a share, or I'm networking, and if somebody's kind of not interested, they're just glassy eyed, I'm like, what did I say? Or how could I say? I walk away. Cool. Great. I did it. Remember, it's not about failure. It's not about the 10 times 9 is 91 Einstein story. He says failure is when you don't do something. So now approach, share, network all the time, everywhere you go, up to all these people, and some will, some won't, some, some are waiting. So what? Some are waiting. Okay. That was my mentality. So the 4 SWs, some will, some won't. So what? Because some are waiting. I'm just going to keep going, keep going, keep going, sharing, approaching, networking. And that's going to create it. And eventually out of the 100, there's 10 super interested, 5 are ready for action. And that all comes out in the end. Okay. Seek first the right ways of approaching, the right ways of sharing, networking, all those kind of things. So in just that first line, there's that. All right. Let's say you got that down. That's working great for you. And literally Miss Cheryl Garcia is somebody that I learned something from. She was super great at the closing part. All right. but one of the people on her team was super great at the approach, share, network, got everybody to the meetings. And it didn't hit me until she had like 6 people at a meeting that I was speaking at, a small meeting in Denver. And Cheryl didn't. She had 1 person, I think, and 1 new guest maybe. And the other person had 6, but then none of the 6 came into the business. But then I had somebody I was working with, and I saw Cheryl close, I should say, or present in a way that is so inspiring. That person said, yes, I want to be part of this. And she was so good at it and so focused and so intentional. Yet that her team member needed to do what she was good at, which approach, share, so that they were interested and they came to the presentation. Cheryl then steps and does the presentation and also needed to do the closing, to get them interested and committed to the business. That person that was so good at the approach and share and the networking was not successful at the closing. And if they could have understood that, with their skill sets, and then the only job she did was to fill the room, then Cheryl would sit down and just do her thing, they would have had a dynamic duo. Okay. And so unfortunately, I saw this when it was pretty much, that was her last time that she had brought so many people. And then this is something I hadn't really taught. So I'm teaching it to you, and hopefully you're understanding what I'm talking about. John and I, another example, I was doing the presentations when we first started 30 years ago. Okay. I'm doing the presentation and people are like, and I'm 26, I own my business. I already sold my first company. I'm like, ooh, this is so great. I know what I'm talking about. I've been successful in business, blah, 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 blah. And people are looking at me like, who are you? I'm 26. I look like I'm 10. And so I'm like, what is the problem? And one of my friends says, Darcy, I don't think anybody believes you. And I go, what do you mean you don't believe me? And so I said, okay, fine. John's 6'3", tall, dark, and handsome. Have him do the presentation. And then he was phenomenal at the presentation. Everything that came out, everybody's like, wow, whoa, this is so great. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And then they would come to me afterwards and I would do the business strategy stuff. Because boom, 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 I understand. Do you want to do this? What kind of income do you want? Where do you see? How much time do you have? What kind of contacts do you have? Let's talk about the strategy that's best for you to help you get to your goal that you want to get to. And I would go through this thing, but I'm like, okay, if that's what he does, so he does and if you notice, when you go to Super Saturdays, guess who does the briefing every time? Do you ever see Darcy do a briefing? Never. I've never done a briefing in Legal Shield because John does the briefing and that goes way back. But this is about what I'm talking about on this little page here. Think about who's on your team and how you could strategize, how you can take 1 + 1 = 10 and get a bigger outcome for both of you, both people on your team. You're going to bring something to the table. They're going to give you what they're good at. You're going to give what you're good at. And along you go, having a blast doing what you love best. That's what John and I did. We mastered that. And that's because of this kind of stuff. So presentations, an example of presentation. So presentations, you may be somebody that's going out and giving presentations. And so you're like, oh, I'm giving these presentations. And then yet people go, I love this. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But they don't sign up. Okay. And this was literally John Hoffman and Brielle Hoffman. So John and Brielle, when Brielle was first starting, they would go down, and John again is a great presenter, but he wasn't good at the closing. I would be better. I'm more that. I'm very intentional about what I'm doing. So I said, they had gone out to insurance company, this, a broker, this, that. And they were like, oh, they're all interested. And they're coming back. And I'm like, that's it. Brielle, you've gone on like 7 and nobody's interested. How can that be possible? And I said, okay, Dad gives a presentation. Everybody loves it. And it's so great. And then, and I said, okay, how do you leave it? What's the last thing that happens? And she goes, well, everybody just says they love it and everything. And then I go, all right. So Brielle, are you a professional presenter? Does your card say Brielle Hoffman, professional presenter? And she says, no. And I said, so you're not in the business of just giving presentations. Are you in the business of protecting families and helping companies have an awesome employee benefit? Is that what business you are? Because if you present and nothing changes for the company or the individual, you haven't accomplished anything. So she's like listening. And I said, this is all I want you to do. This is the shift that Brielle Hoffman made. Okay. These little tiny things. And I said, at the end of a presentation that dad does so well, I want you to just say, even if he doesn't, never says it. So now you need to step up and you're responsible for this part, because that wasn't his thing. So she said, I said, just say, where do we go next? Where would you like to go next? What do we need to do from here? You know, those two kind of questions, but you have to leave with a direction. We're not there just to present. Never, never. We're not we're not professional presenters. So that would be something that she changed, and she went through the roof. She literally, it was like 4 months into her business, and it was like nothing. It was unbelievable. Like the meeting she was doing, and the lack of high interest, no change, no new, nothing. And that changed, and that was a different question. Okay, closing. Again, I just kind of shared that one. Closing. If you're going in, and I hate the word closing. I use another one. Presenting in a way that explains the benefits that are so incredibly personal and relative to the person you're talking to, that they want your service, is a better way than the word closing. Closing sounds like you're pushing somebody. Presenting in a way that is so beneficial to the person you're presenting to, so valuable that they have a desire and to want what you're presenting. That's truly what we do. Okay, no pushing, no forcing, none of that stuff. All right, so if you present like that, if you close in a way that's about that person's desires and needs, and you've asked the questions first, like, so you've done like the consumer folder, or the questions we have in the consumer folder, where you ask the questions and then they answer you. And now you're establishing a presentation based on their answers, and you're filling their needs as you go through the presentation. Then you become a servant seller. So that goes to the next thing. Somebody who presents in a way that's all about the needs of the customer is a servant seller, because you're doing what's best for them. Whether it's a company, a small business, an individual, or a potential recruit, all of them are the same. You are presenting for their benefit, not your own. And then you will get referrals. And so always remember, if somebody is being shown the opportunity, and just say, and you say, well, what do you think our next step would be? What's the best? Where's your interest level, or whatever the close is for you, to say, so you're intentional about this presentation going in a direction. And they're like, well, I got to think about it. Well, that's great. No problem with that. In the meantime, do you know anybody? And you go right into referrals, because you were kind, you were wonderful, you cared about them, you know what their dreams are, you want to help them truly from your heart. That's okay to ask for referrals. And they go, well, now that you think about it, this person. And then if you talk to the two people they referred you to and they're interested, you call the person back and say, well, I haven't heard from him, but Joe's super interested and he could be part of your team, and then that's a way that you can do referrals on the recruiting team building side. But definitely in the employee benefit, definitely in the small business, all referrals are key, based on a servant seller, a very trustworthy, you have a relationship, you're not just pushing something at them. Okay, and the last thing is vision casting. If recruiting is really showing people what the possibilities are to be part of this company, and it isn't just you make this at this level and you get this bonus when you do this. That's a very small vision casting, and that's an immediate reward that they get. But we want long-term visionaries. We want someone to see changing a life, see changing a community, changing a company, changing their own family, changing their ability to choose vacation and the kind of vacation, for themselves. All the vision casting, not only for how they can mission for what they can change in the world, but also what they can change for their own life and family. So that's a whole nother source of a skiller system. So we're not going into those. I kind of like surfaced a few of those things, about an example about how I would change, or I have changed working with different people. But look at your world in this last year and ask yourself which one of those things and who is the best at one of those areas that I might be weaker. Who can you partner with? So that's the question. And that's breaking it down. For you to have more income, you have to learn to break it down and then go and go after that like laser, like a bulldog. And you're going to chew that up and learn that skill until you're the best at it. And you're going to get better, better, better by the number of times you do it. All right, moving along. This is going to happen, taking control one decision at a time. So your pivot point principle, meaning as you, if you go back here and you're going to work on one of these things, the approach presentation, the approach share network thing. All right, so for me, okay, so my story, approach share network. I was new. If you have a new person and they say 2 times a day, that's great. But for me, it was 10 times a day on the product, 10 times a day on the business. 20 times a day, 10. Okay. And so I kept track of everything, everybody I talked to. And so on a daily basis, because I had no organization, so I didn't have anything else to do but share. So I didn't have presentations. I was just trying to get them interested at that time. So I could do 10 and 10 without a sales team. And but anyways, 10 on the product, 10 on the business helped me develop both sides. I was better at presenting the product, but I also had to learn about the vision casting and talking to them and what are the questions to find out if somebody's excited about their career and how do you get into that conversation. And so that skill set, because I was doing so many on it every day, kind of went exponential. All right. So, and I got very comfortable and it was my new normal and I could talk to anybody in any situation at any time because I went after it. And so those are the kind of things, and I call it all out massive action. But if you want to become good at something, like a baseball pitcher, he doesn't throw 3 pitches a day. He's throwing and throwing and throwing like hundreds and thousands. And I mean, he's going after it to become better at a baseball pitcher or a golfer. So do the same thing in these systems that you have to grow in. All right. So that's a pivot point, because what I mean by that is, well, I really don't want to do this right now. I see this person that I could go talk to, and the pivot point is, go talk to him because that's what you're working on and it's a habit, or no, I don't really want to. I'd rather have my coffee. He looks like I might bug him, or I'm a little uncomfortable. So you're going to have that happen all day long, 10 times a day, 20 times a day for all of 2024. All right. So you have to be conscious of it, and it's got to be, oh, here's a pivot point. Am I going to do the thing that's uncomfortable and commit to this, or am I going to talk myself out of it? So you are going to have those pivot points all day long. That's kind of the activity stuff. And then this is just some extra little bonuses for attitudes that sabotage your success. The know-it-all, it's never my fault. If I only had, nothing ever goes right. What time is it? Okay. John's looking at me. Anyways, there's going to be a little article about that. You can read it on that. 5 attitudes you need for success: possibility thinking, self-reliance, commitment, hard work, and growth focused, not goal focused. Notice the word. And coming, if you go to Shield Nation every week, they're going to have this webinar, and then you can get a bunch of little extra bonuses. So there's an article about those kind of things you can read if you want, but don't complain about what you permit. What you can tolerate, you cannot change. So if I can tolerate my present income, I'm not going to change it until I'm so sick of it. I cannot stand it anymore. I hate the level I'm at. I hate the kind of business I've been doing. I don't like the lack of momentum I have. Don't complain about it, because you permitted it. And what you can tolerate, if you can tolerate your present level of success, you can tolerate the bills coming in and not getting paid, you can tolerate not having the vacation you want, you will not change. So you've got to get to a point you can't stand it. I'm done. So that's Darcy's. I'm sorry I went over. I just, I'm just so excited to be here with you all. So I'll wrap that up and I'll get this off. I don't know how to get it. Well, you do. Can you get me off this, or do I have to get off of this? I think you push escape. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yes.
I will stop the share and then we can all see each other's faces in case anybody.
There you go.
I know we're right in the middle of the championship football game, so we want to get back to the football.
Yes,
So
we are.
Well, they may be doing that, Darcy, but we had almost 100 people on here, so we're doing pretty well.
okay.
96 on, so we're multitasking.
All right.
And
now-
next
Not
week,
Not only that, how much money are you going to get paid from that football game?
That's right, Teresa. Speak it, sister.
However, John is doing a cartwheel and he's happy.
He is happy with the Michigan win, I gotta say, and I'm happy with the Tennessee win. Tennessee won
Yes,
Thursday,
that
so
was awesome.
we had a good, we had a good family day. That's for sure.
Hey, how about the last game though?
What's the
With
last game?
Alabama and oh my goodness, they won. Michigan. Lisa
Right.
Taylor and John are like doing a cartwheel, I'm telling you.
They are.
They
Can you
are.
guys see when Katie's? That's Katie talking. How do you
That's
make the
she
do?
had her, there she is.
Camera off.
Sorry,
She's
I'm taking pictures, right? Taking notes, watching. I'm, multitasking. It's what we do in 2024.
Well, there's
Well, this was great training, Darcy. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes,
You
it
bet.
was. It's great.
Lot of,
I
somebody
know it's
asked
January 1st and it's like, I was like going back and forth about it, but I just feel like y'all, there's something happening in Legal Shield and this is your time. So if you've ever wanted to step up and, there's not everything perfect, let me just say that, but there's a lot going in the right direction. And I can tell you, there's other companies, and I'm talking companies like State Farm, Northwest Mutual, and companies like that. And it is far on Amazon. No, I know people working and all that, and it is whoa, stuff going on. So part of me, I know this is like, okay, it is not everything's going to be perfect. Maybe somebody just recruited somebody and the technology didn't work or something, and the person's like, that's it. The technology, those kind of things, they're going to happen. All right. But if you have 10 people that you're working with and it happens to one that gets all goofed up and they're out of here because of that, the technology didn't work or something like that, and it just sends them to the moon. I mean, to tell you, it's like you can't check into a hotel, you can't go to a store, you can't without something being so low of service in so many different areas. So I feel like what I see is it was some struggles in Legal Shield, but it's going like this. Walter, I've talked to the new people that are working with the legal, the firms, a new person, they've got some new people that's the people that were running it weren't getting the job done and they're gone. Yay. Okay. So a lot of the problems have been, it took Warren, about a year to figure out what to change. And I feel like he's the guy, and I'm pretty excited. And so,
And Darcy, there might be some new people on here, just to clarify that you are talking about that you're talking to Warren Schlichting, our CEO.
oh yeah, yes.
That's big.
Our
huge.
CEO is gonna be mainly, just like I started for any new people. I've been with the company for 25 years and have just had the best month. And when I say a best month, it's 6 numbers are in the best month. Okay. So it isn't like it's ridiculous what you can earn. And I feel like I want to shout it from the mountaintops. We have the ability for you to earn income with a product that is less priced than any product. So we're less than retail. Retail is $300 an hour for legal help, and we are at $29 a month. So it's just so unbelievable that they have access to this for the cost, and you can't, and then they pay us over and over, month after month, for the life of the customer. So when I have somebody who sold a house in real estate and they made a commission, I'm like, okay, what are you going to make next month? Nothing, unless they sell another house. So the residual, our pension is our retention. It's how many customers we add year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. And so I'm 25 years later adding customers every year, and it just keeps growing. And it's something, anyhow, it's almost like there's not words to help people wake up and understand what we have. But I'm going to try to do my best and say all companies have problems. I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm saying we are the best. I don't know of another thing you could do that could give you the income and the opportunity. 50 states in America, all of Canada, travel where you want to travel, go open an office or a sales team and with where your family lives, where your sister lives, where your friends live, and write that off. So the write-off, that's another thing. Kimberly and Russell Dixon and I had a talk about helping people to understand by just getting started with Legal Shield and being in a position that they are a self-employed person. Just the move of starting and having a business, what it can do in tax savings is thousands and thousands of dollars. So by saying no, you said no to thousands of dollars of deductions just by saying no. And this is a product, nobody, that's less price and hardly anybody knows about it. So anyhow, so it's exciting. But yes, he's our CEO and he's fantastic.
Hey, Darcy.
Yeah.
I just want to share with people, and I'm sure Teresa will agree with me with the new training that we have been working with Melissa on. It is going to be such a game changer for all the new people and even us that have been around for 25 years. It is simplified. It's easier. It's going to be absolutely incredible for people to truly, just change the future of their own business. So I'm really excited about that and what is coming as well, just for everyone's information. So some really, really exciting and great things are happening in 2024.
And
So-
that's awesome, Katie. And what you just said is based on a principle. So I always say, if you have a principle, seek first the principle of a thing. Warren's principle, our CEO, is simplicity. So you're going to see as time goes on, everything's going to be simpler. And the training and what you're saying, Katie, lines up with who he is. And
Yeah.
so the thing is, a confused mind does nothing.
Nothing.
So the simplicity of this is just going to be a opportunity for someone who has the heart and the commitment to themselves and to others to go out and make it happen. So time is now.
Amen.
Anyone else with a final thought? Yeah, I like that, Jim. I'm done being
Darcy, awesome job.
All right, y'all.
Make it happen.
Yes. Happy New Year, you guys. We're going to have increase in 2024. Go for it.
Yes, yes, yes. And next
No,
week, what's that?
I said, see you all next week.
Okay, see you all next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Darcy.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Happy
New Year.
Great
Thank
job.
you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you,
Happy New
everybody. Have a
Year.
good night.
Thank you,
Thank
Darcy.
More
you.
in 24, baby.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Darcy. Thank you.
More in 24.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Darcy.